Today I'm going to be showing you how to remove the door panel on your Saab 9.3. This vehicle is my 2007 Saab 9.3 2.0 Turbo. This is the passenger rear door, and the reason I'm removing the door panel is because, if you can notice, right here, the door is unlocked. The door handle doesn't do anything. Now, I did remove this door panel not too long ago. I wrapped the trim here. It was the wooden trim. This is an 07 anniversary model, so the interior will be a little different than others, but this was wood. I removed this. I wrapped it in carbon fiber. Probably can't tell really well with the sun in the backlighting, but when I removed it, put the door panel back on, I think I forgot to attach this. I don't know, but that's kind of a different video. But for today, I'm going to be showing you how to remove the rear door panel. The front is pretty much the same. So let's get started. So for starters, for removing the door panel, regardless if it's for the front or for the rear like this one is, you have to remove this trim piece here. So it's kind of a bear to get off sometimes, but it may take a couple screwdrivers, but really it just takes some finger strength. So what I recommend doing is getting your fingers underneath here, pushing out, and wiggling upwards, and then kind of working your way around. So it's hard to see, but there's a couple different clips here that just lock it in place, but it's merely held on, which is pressure. So you don't want to get screwdrivers in here because you're going to be scratching everything up, and you can just do it by your hands. So once that is removed, it exposes two Torx bits right here. See if I remember the sizes. Alright. So, it takes two T25 Torx bit screws. Now, my set here, it uses a 1/4 inch socket set. Well, I happen to loan that out, never got it back. Don't loan your tools out. So today, I'm actually just using a flathead screwdriver and the Torx bit. There's not a lot of pressure here, but you'll probably be using a 1/4 inch. You can try to fish out the screws now, but sometimes it's just easier to pop off the trim clips, and then as you're pulling the door panel off, the two screws will fall out. Now when you do that, obviously you can lose them, but if you're outside in a somewhat clean area or like a parking lot like I am, you're not going to have any problems finding them. So the next step is to simply just remove, or not remove, but undo the different trim clips. So about here in the video, I will stop it and I will point out where exactly on the door panel these trim clips are. Alright, so now that this trim piece is removed and the two T25 screws are loosened up, right there and right there, you can now get to popping off the door panel clips. Now the clips themselves you don't need to remove, but you need to pop them from the pressure of being in the door. So you need a trim removal tool like such. You can use a flat blade screwdriver, but you risk scratching everything up. Let's see if I can show you how this works while videoing. So right there you can see little yellow trim clip, so you want to work the tool get by where it's at. Simple pressure releases it. Now I assume most 9.3s this era or around the same year use yellow trim clips, so it makes it a lot easier to find them. So there's another one down here. So that's pretty much what you're looking for. So you just need to work your way around the door and it'll pop off. So after you remove all of the door panel clips, or at least release them, you don't need to remove them from the door panel. Once you release them, now you just need to lift up on the door panel, and there you have it. and you can kind of hear the screws falling out. Here are the two T25 Torx. And next up is, if you want to fully remove the door panel, you need to undo the window switches. So already I can tell my problem. The cable itself isn't broke, so I simply forgot to attach it whenever I wrap my door panel. So there's my problem right here, but I'll continue on to removing the window switch.
So here you can see the door panels flipped upside down, resting on a shoebox. At least I hope so. It's kind of bright out now, sun came out. So it's flipped upside down, resting on a shoebox. That way it keeps pressure off of the connectors in the back. If you want to remove this door panel completely, you're going to have to remove this gray clip and this tan kind of camel color clip, and this is underneath the window switch. So to remove the door panel completely, you must remove these two. Now, forgot to mention, this will be connected, so you will have to finagle this off of the door handle. It's kind of hard to see. You can kind of see the chrome clip down here. Let's see if I can't point it out. Right there. So a little finagling, you can get that out. Now that's the reason why I had to remove my door panel, is because I forgot to reattach this. And that's why I can't show you how to take that off. But what I can show you is, if you want to remove this completely, to take out these two clips here. So it can be a little difficult holding a camera, but what you want to do, lift up on this tab, and that clip releases. Now this one can be quite a pain, so sorry for shaking the camera, but kind of difficult. So this one gets really froze up in here, so you want to really push in on this tab with the screwdriver. Again, sorry for getting so shaky. So here's that tab, but for some reason the connector itself, it doesn't get corroded. Well, yours can. I guess any of them can be corroded, but anyways, so it gets stuck in here regardless of corrosion or not, so you really need to push and wiggle on this tab. So here is the door panel removed, and there you have it. So you have your lock lever, you have your cable, access to that, have access to your switches. If you peel back this liner here, you can get access to the window motor and such.
Alright, for putting your door panel back on, obviously you need to reattach the two clips that you previously undone for the window. And then you need to connect the tab, or the cable, to the inner door handle.
And you know for sure when it's clipped because you'll hear it actually clip. So then now pull on that, you can see it doing its work, and then you can also hear it in the actual mechanism.
Alright, so once the two connectors are clipped in and the door handle cable is attached and you made sure everything's clipped in properly, now you can actually drape the door panel over top of the door right here, the inside of the door, and also make sure your lock is, the lock lever is still attached, because it can fall off pretty easily when the door panel is not on there. So hook it over top. You want to start with the top portion of the door panel. Once you have it draped over, then the rest of the clipping is super easy. So it's a lot easier when the window's down, but it's not impossible if the window's up. So just kind of start at the top with the clips and work your way around, following the edges, making sure everything's clipped into place. Popping it into place, you don't need any tools, just merely pressure. So once that's all in, you can tell, I mean, it's pretty solid in here. Make sure everything's working like it should, and then reverse order. So then you just put in the two T25 Torx bits, and then lastly is the trim piece here. You don't need to make these super tight because you will break the plastic of the door panel. Now for the hardest part, which is actually finagling that plastic trim piece back onto place. So here it is. There you have it. The door panel has successfully been removed and reinstalled. Obviously, before you put everything back together, you want to make sure it all works. We check the lock mechanism here. We check the door, which I didn't last time. That's why I'm pulling it off this time. But after you have everything attached and before you clip it back into place, make sure the window works like it should, because it's a heck of a lot easier to deal with the problem when the door panel's off than obviously when it's on. But the reason why you may want to remove this is any problem like with the locks, if you have to remove the outside lock, even the locking mechanism, door lock actuator, switches, the window switch, the window regulator, and the motor. Any problems with that, you will have to remove the door panel. So hopefully this video helped. See you next time.